悉离火，嗡布鲁连声悉离火，嗡布鲁连声悉离火，嗡布鲁连声悉离火，嗡布鲁连声悉离火。
阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，大家早上好、午安和晚上好。我
Amida, good
是莲花大
morning,
鹏讲
afternoon,
师，
and
是
evening
今
to
天的
everyone.
课
I
程主持
am
人，
DI
来自于瑞典
大
修德
鹏，
雷藏寺。今天呢是2024年的7月19日，星期五，台湾时间晚上8点。很高
it is
兴哈，今
now
天能够成为
today is
我
the
们这
19th
期
of
课程的
July,
主持人。真佛
and
网
it
络
is
大
now
学的第5学年次
7:05 p.m.
生命礼
Taiwan
仪的课
time,
程，都是
and
由
I'm very
换种
honored
语
to be
言
able
来
to
直播。
host the
大家可
fifth
以
module
在
of the
TBS
TBS
喜爱
Online
哲
University,
华语频
the
道、
Ethical of
英
Life.
语频道
And
和列
again,
宁
today
频
it will
道。
be conducted.
在课
There
程
will be
结
three
束后，
languages
我们都会
available.
把
You can
课
either
程的视
choose
频发布
from
于
Chinese
YouTube 的直
to
播
listen into
中，
the Chinese
全球
language,
网络教学
the
与
English
灵
language,
修频
or
道里边，
Indonesian
大家
language,
可以在
and
那
all
里
of
收
these
看和
videos will
及
be
时的读
uploaded
本回播，
onto
都非
our
常
YouTube
精彩。
channel, and you may go
那
to
今
our
天的
YouTube
课程
channel
呢，是
to
生命礼仪的第
watch the
2章，
recording
对
if you
死
wish to
亡的
recap our
认知
lessons.
的第3节课，牲畜中
And
阴的第2部
today's
分，梦中
class
中
will
阴，
be on
禅
chapter
定
2,
中阴，
Understanding
带我们
Death,
认识
Lesson
梦
3,
里边中阴与
Battle
禅
of
定中阴，
Dreams,
以及
and Battle
修
of
持的意
Meditative
义。我
Stability.
们会在台湾时间的晚上8点
So we will start
正式
class
开始今天的授
at
课。
8 p.m.
那今
Taiwan
天的授
time.
课老师是学
And
识渊
today's
博、
our
非常
lecturer
敬师重法
is the
实修的释
very
典岳
outstanding and
杨上师。
experienced
在
Master
这节
Lian Yue.
课开始之前，我们很多的同学学员们都已
And
经听
before
到
we
了
started
玄岳
this
上师非常精
class,
彩的课
actually
程传
many
授。
of the students
那在
here
今
have
天在今天
already
开始课
attended
程之
Master Lian
前
Yue's
呢，我们先稍微回顾一下我
classes
们上2节课的
previously.
内容，温故而知
And
新。
before class starts today,
在7月5号
let,
的
let
时
us go
候，是
through
玄岳
a
上
brief
师
recap
为我们讲授了
on the
生
classes
命礼仪
prior,
的
the
第
two
1章
classes.
4种中阴的牲畜中阴，
So the
把 握
first
暇
lesson
满人生的修行，告诉我们信者与
we
无
talked
信
about the
者
battle of
死亡后
birth
的
and
区别
life
对
and
待，
how to make
还
use
有
of
如
your
何看待意外
current
死
life
亡，比
to
如车
cultivate.
祸、自杀、被杀、捐赠器官及假体等。
And in the
还有
second
讲
lesson,
到急
we
救重病者
explored
或者
on the
弥留者
perspective of
是
death,
否
how we
还有
look at
抢救之意
accidental
义。
deaths,
那
suicides,
在
as
7
well
月
as organ
12日是
donations
玄岳
after
上
death.
师讲授的对死亡的认知的第2节课，也就
And
是
on the second
灵魂
class,
真的
sorry,
存在吗？灵魂到底是什
Master
么？
Lian
这个
shared
话题让我们
on
更加
the
深入的
topic
了
of
解
do
了
souls really
生命与
exist?
死亡后一生生这股能量场的存在的意义。
So
了
Master
解
Lian
一
shared
生
with
生的内
us
涵以后，灵
um,
魂就会进入时
the
间维度的机
Bado
会，
is actually
听
a
见
body
师
born
尊
from
根本
one's
上师
consciousness,
持咒见佛光。
and
在
it's
这个机
extremely
会里边
important
得
to
以
keep
救度。
our root guru
在上节课
and
结束以
Buddhas and
后呢，
Bodhisattvas in
在
our
我们
minds.
生命礼仪学员群组里边收到了好多学员的体会的
And
分享。
after these
那其
classes,
中呢，
many
就
students
有
have
很
shared in
多
the
的弘
WhatsApp
法人
group
员，
of
还有学
their of
员
whatever
大
they
家
learned
分享
during the
了非常代
class.
表性。在这里呢，我这边
Mhm.
先把温建吉助教的一个分享哈，他的分享呢
And I would
还
like
是蛮有
to
意义的。
share a
我们在
particular
这节课开始之前，
reflection
请大家
by
呢
a
去
student
分享一下。
in the
他说
WhatsApp
哈，在课堂
group.
上学
So
到的
she
阴
said
身即是
during
灵魂，灵魂
class,
即是一生生，一
Bado
生
is
生是
actually
意识产生
soul,
的能量场，
and soul is
这一
actually a
团
body
气。
born from
当
one's
我们回想
consciousness
给这
or
团气
energy
一
field
生生
created
的
by
时候，
one's
它也是可以
consciousness.
收到的。也即是一团气也有生命，要如何把这团气一生生提
So
升到
how
天
do
上
we
界、世圣界？要如
take
何
this
帮他们回向，
energy
帮他
field
们做功德，帮他们助念呢？玄岳
and
上师在课
elevate
上
it
做了详细的
to
表述。以
such
后
that it
无
can get
常
a
来的
better
时
rebirth
候，
in the
有
heavenly
谁可以
realms
走出
and
这
so
轮
on.
回因果呢？帮助亡者就是帮助自己，利益众
So
生就是利益自己，害众生就
if
是害自己。
So when we are helping the disease, it's actually helping ourselves. And if we are harming sentient beings, actually it's actually also harming ourselves. So impermanence hits anytime. So are we all prepared? Are we all will we be frightened? Will we be nervous? So when attending ritual chanting for memorial events, it's often seen the family members panicking as they are not prepared for this situation, for death, for the situation. So how can we prepare? So there is not enough time. So I've reflected that when we still have the ability to do so, we should cultivate, and impermanence waits for no one.
师尊、佛菩萨的光来加持我们，有经咒及佛菩萨、师尊的加持，可以改变这股能量场。以师尊亲诵的经咒修法。
So the Bado body is an energy field created by one's consciousness, and if we have the blessing power of our Grandmaster, if we register for Grandmaster's ceremonies,
祝大家早日修行成就，证得佛果。阿弥陀佛。
this energy field will be upgraded. And she hopes that everyone will attain accomplishment in their cultivation. So hope that everyone can have their can write their reflection and share it in the WhatsApp chat, so all of us students can read it.
那还有几分钟的
And
时
today
间，
again, we are very honored to have Master Lin Yue
链接哈，把我们此次课程的链接发给
for today's class.
还有
And feel free to share this class with your friends, and more importantly your family members. Invite them to learn about today's class. And today's class is important as well.
到梦里的中音及禅定的中音。那这一些呢，都是
So from the Bado of birth and life, we explore the Bado of meditative stability and the Bado of dreams.
请大家尽快的
And this is extremely important for cultivators like us. And we have just a few more minutes before class starts. So feel free to share this link, either the YouTube link or the Zoom link, with your fellow Dharma brothers and sisters, your friends, your families, your colleagues, your close friends, and welcome them to join our learning.
知识
And every time we learn, because every time we learn, it is an upgrade. It's kind of an upgrade for our energy field, our consciousness.
侃侃而谈，同时呢，又把自己的经验无私的分享给大家，这都是在他的整个弘法历程、修行过程中所体悟到的，这就是知识。所以我们在接受
For example, Master Lin Yue is sharing with us her many years of experience, and hence we have to pay attention to the class and also share the love. Share this class with everyone you know, so that they can also get benefits from it. And so it is now so we will start class proper at 8 p.m. So we have a few more minutes left. And at the end of today's lecture, we will have a Q&A session to address the queries that some students might have from the previous class as well as from today's class.
希望大家呢做好笔记，如果还没有准备好笔和
And
纸
please prepare your writing materials so that you can make notes.
很多知识点哈，
And I feel that many learning points have to be noted down, because
请我们自己呢做好这样的准备。
because if we only just listen, we may not be able to absorb all the points. So it is advisable to
都是有根本传承上师的加持。
keep them down in writing and take notes. And we again thank Grandmaster for his blessing, such that our lecturer, Master Lin Yue, and also all of us here students are able to gain wisdom in every class. And we have just one more minute before class starts, so let us all prepare.
还有特别提醒啊，希望大家呢每次收听课以后啊，
just a reminder when you're listening to class and also when you're making notes, you also we 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 cannot we can also take a additional step to reflect and to write your reflection, and you can share a reflection with in the WhatsApp chat.
你所在的一些学习群，或者是
or you can share in some of your cultivation groups that you have, and also the study groups that you may be in. So this is also a process of learning. All right, it is now 8 p.m. and today we will officially commence today's class.
好，我们先做根本传承的加持的观想。
All right, let us pray for the blessing of TBS lineage. Let us form the Padma Kumara Mudra and visualize the TBS lineage.
南无阿弥陀佛，南无莲花童子，南无莲生活佛。祈请根本传承上师
Varoshana, Oshana, Amidaba, Padma Kumara, as well as Living Buddha Lien Sheng. Visualize them radiating light and recite the Padma Kumara mantra 7 times. Om Guru Lien Shen Siddhi Hom. 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 Om Guru Lien Shen Siddhi Hom.
我们用虔敬的心来欢迎今天的授课导师释莲月
welcome today's lecturer, Master Lian Yue, as well as Chairman Master Cheng Zhu, Education Director Master Lian Ha, PR Director Master Lian Jia, and all masters, senior reverends, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, and all fellow disciples online on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. Good day to all. Amidaba, everyone. And let us put our let us warmly welcome today's lecturer, Master Lian Yue. Let's give a round of applause to welcome her. The welcome Master. And today's class will be on lesson chapter 2, Understanding Death, lesson 3, Battle of Meditative Stability and Battle of Dreams. Amidaba. Let us sincerely pay homage to our most precious root guru, Living Buddha Lien Sheng. Let us sincerely pay homage to Tentrayana lineage guru, Padmasambhava, Triple Gems of the Mandala. Let us pray for blessing, empowerment of the supreme precious Dharma transmission, for precious Dharma teachings to be transformed into nectar that continuously fills our entire being. We do not listen to the teachings with our ears, but we understand these teachings with our hearts. With our hearts, we take in this nectar filled with wisdom. Let us sincerely pay homage and give thanks. Our most respected Chairman, Master Cheng Zhu, Education Director, Master Lian Ha, Peer Director, Master Lian Jia, Master Lian Fei, as well as all Masters, Senior Reverends, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, and all students. Good day to all. Amidaba. So today, we will be going into lesson 3. And every time we have an end of life care class, I will continuously emphasize that we need to have the right understanding of death And so, what does it mean by having a right understanding of death? So, to have a right understanding of death, having a right understanding of death would allow us to live this life meaningfully. And not simply just opening your eyes and waking up every day and going to bed at the end of the day. It is not just simply living an ordinary life like that. Instead, for every day we live, we have to be aware of the true meaning of life, especially because we have taken refuge in our most precious root guru. Hence, this life is exceptionally meaningful for us. Hence, once we have a right understanding of death, we will know exactly how we should live our current life. And we will gain more understanding. So, this is of utmost importance when we talk about end of life care. So when we talk about end of life care, about the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado state. So what is Bado? The Bado is a body born from one's consciousness. And what is that actually? It is actually the energy field created by one's consciousness. Yes, so the energy field created by one's consciousness. So we must always remember this. Again, the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage. What does this hearing mean? It refers to hearing the most precious teachings. Using this precious opportunity when we are alive to understand these precious teachings and hence gain liberation through these teachings. Hence, the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage is not merely the rituals we perform at the end of life. It actually includes in this life where we listen to these teachings, understand these teachings, cultivate them, and thereafter we gain liberation. Hence, among the four Bados, the Bado of birth and life is extremely important in our current life. Alright, so let us again recap the four Bados. The four Bados are interconnected, they're interlinked, and it is precisely due to this interconnectivity that causes the cycle of life and death to continue on and on and on. So let us take a look at the four Bados. What is the first Bado? Yes, so it is the Bado of birth and life. And when does the Bado of birth and life start? Does it only start when one is born? No, it shouldn't be. Actually, it already begins when the sperm and the egg of the father and mother combine to become a fertilized ovum. That is when the Bado of birth and life starts. Um, I think today's PPT is not up yet, but in the first slide is something very important. It is the four Bados. And today we'll focus on the Bado of birth and life. So this stage starts when the sperm and the egg of the father and mother combine to become a fertilized ovum. So this starting point is extremely important because after the Bado of birth and life, after one's entire life, we'll enter into the next Bado stage, which is the Bado of dying. Alright, so Can we get the PPT up, please? So if you can see the picture, it will be clearer. So does everyone see the slide? So the one at the very top is the battle of birth and life, which already begins the moment the sperm and egg combine to become a fertilized ovum. Then after going through one's entire life, just when we are moments before our death, which stage are we in? Yes, it is the battle of dying. And do you see that in the battle of dying, there is uh, so the battle of dying is the one is the one on the right and is segregated into two. So there's actually a line dividing the battle of dying. The line is so called the line of death, and it is denoted beside the grey box. Hence, the battle of dying does not only start after one is dead. Before the line of death, we already enter into the battle of dying. So So the battle of dying is segregated into two stages of dissolution. And what is denoted by the line of death? It refers to the death of the physical body. It refers to the medically certified death as determined by doctors. But it does not mean that we only enter into the battle of dying when we are medically certified dead. Before death, actually, we already enter into the battle of dying, where the dissolution of the body has started. And this stage is known as external dissolution. And if you see below the line of death, again the line that is denoted by the grey box, the battle of dying actually continues into another stage of dissolution. And what is this stage called? Yes, this stage is called internal dissolution. So after external dissolution, after the elements in the body, the earth, water, fire, wind scatter, and so after the elements in the body scatter, the red and white body will scatter as well. Only then we will see the black bindu at our heart chakra. So the red and white body will scatter and dissipate as well. So this comes from the red and white body from the father and mother that combine to form the fertilized ovum at the start of the battle of birth and life, which is why the battle of birth and life starts once the red and white body combines. So afterwards, we go through our entire life. Then, as we enter into the battle of dying, the material aspects in our lives will start to scatter, the material portions, and this is known as external dissolution. And after the red and white body from our parents rise up and scatters, the black bindu at our heart will rise. So this actually is the fully realized Buddha nature of every sentient being. The Buddha nature of every sentient being. And at this moment it appears. The Buddha nature of every sentient being. And this appears during the first phase of internal dissolution. Then when we enter into internal dissolution, at this stage the soul is still in the physical body. And at this moment, what we have to do is we have to comfort and calm the panic and confused soul. So during the battle of dying, even though the deceased may be certified dead, but their soul is still within the physical body. The soul has not left the physical body. And so this entire stage where the soul has not yet left the physical body is known as the battle of dying. And during this battle of dying stage, there are actually many good opportunities to expose the deceased to Dharma. And this is extremely actually important to the deceased. And this entire period is known as as the golden 8 hours for the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage. Hence, when a patient passes away, if we are able to be by their side and perform the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage and carry out the golden 8 hours, this is something that is extremely important when we are engaged in the end of life care. So afterwards, when the soul slowly leaves the body of the deceased, so as it leaves the body of the deceased, it will experience many, many illusions and turmoil. When the soul finally leaves the physical body of the deceased, the the Bado body is the Bado body, and the physical body is simply just a shell. So the Bado body and the physical body are now separate. So at this moment, we enter into the third Bado stage, which is the Bado of luminosity of the true nature. And this Bado of luminosity of true nature exists as an energy field. Does everybody understand? So because Bado is the body born from one's consciousness, which is the energy field created by one's consciousness. So at this stage, the Bado or the soul no longer has a physical body that it can rely on. Once it leaves the physical body, it is unable to enter the physical body again. Hence, it is just energy. It is just an energy field. And the period where it exists in this form is roughly 7 weeks or 49 days and is known as the Bado of luminosity of the true nature. Yep. So this stage is known as the Bado of luminosity of true nature. And in this period, the Bado will experience several stages and the Bado will experience 7 minor deaths between periods of consciousness and unconsciousness. So you'll experience 7 minor deaths in this period. And after these 7 minor deaths, the Bado of luminosity of true nature will soon come to an end. So the Bado, this energy field will receive blessings when we perform cultivations, assistive chanting, merit dedication for the deceased during both the Bado of dying and the Bado of luminosity of true nature. So this actually allows the disease energy field to reach or to become a better energy field. And in the future, when it enters into the Bado of becoming, it will enter into a body with a similar energy field. Hence, it is during these 49 days that various TBS cultivation venues are likely providing ritual chanting for memorial events or assistive chanting, etc. And during these rituals, how we make merit dedication to the disease is also very important. So we can see that the four Bados are closely intertwined. And it all starts with when the sperm and egg of the parents combine to create a life all the way until the end of that life. And at the end of our life, the four elements, the earth, water, fire, and wind that we have borrowed from the universe, we ultimately have to return it back to the universe. And throughout this entire cycle, the Bado is continuously experiencing rebirth and death in an endless cycle. So there was once when I was propagating Dharma in Australia, also giving a class on the end of life care, on end of life care. And there were about 10 or more uh, Australian disciples listening to the class. And after the class, they asked me a question. Of course, they listened to my class through an interpreter. And they asked me this question at the end of the class. And the question is, so they asked, Master Lian Yue, have you seen the six realms? And I answered, no, I haven't. Actually, from a different perspective, when we look at the phenomena in samsara, all of the phenomena in samsara, they are actually manifestations of the six realms. But I know what they were going to ask me, so I answered, no, I haven't seen the six realms. They then asked me, since Master has not seen the six realms with your own eyes, why do you believe in the existence of the six realms? So today I asked everyone this same question. How would everyone answer? So, since you have not seen the six realms with your own eyes, why do you still believe in the existence of the six realms? So, if you are asked this question, how would you answer? So, I open this question to everyone listening to this class. Most of us has not seen the six realms with our own eyes, but why are we still willing to believe that the six realms exist? So, as the way of thinking in the East and West is different, I answer in this way. Uh, the Bardo is an energy field, and the Buddhas are extremely wise. They've divided our universe into 10 Dharma realms, spaces that are corresponding to different specific energy fields. So there are 10 spaces corresponding to different energy fields, and we name each of these 10 spaces. For example, this space has its own energy field and it is named as the Hell realm. So we have named it the Hell realm. And another specific energy field corresponds to another space which is named as the Hungry Ghost realm. And the specific energy corresponding to another space is named as the Animal realm. And the specific energy field corresponding to this space that we occupy, this particular frequency, is named as the human realm. Hence, you and me are humans. This is also a name given to us. And we also have the Asura realm, the heavenly realm, and the four holy realms, Shravaka, Pratyeka, Buddha, Bodhisattva, and Buddha realms. So these make up the 10 Dharma realms, and each realm corresponds to a different energy field. And at this point, we are just simply adjusting the channel. We are on the channel for the human realm. However, the Bardo is an energy field. It's a body formed from our consciousness. And today we are in this energy field. And when we enter into this energy field, we named it human realm. But each energy field has its own, so each energy field has its own characteristics. I mentioned in the first class, for energy fields that are at higher levels, they are vast, they are very vast, very radiant, very calm, very joyful, and they possess unlimited light. So these are the characteristics of higher level energy fields. So energy fields at different levels exhibit different characteristics. So for lower energy level fields, it is the opposite of what we mentioned earlier. So they are not vast, they are not vast, they are small, they are not pure, and they do not have radiant light. So this is an energy field that is very chaotic, very erratic. So every day we have different energy fields. So some days we may feel very happy, Other days we may feel very sad. So our energy field is different when we are happy versus when we are sad. And today, right now, we are humans. Hence, we have physical bodies. And so this energy field is hidden within the physical body, is hidden within our physical body, and we are unable to see one another's energy field, but we can only see one another's physical experience. So you go by the name of Linda, what I'm known as Lian Yue. So these are names given to us. These six realms, the four holy realms and the 10 Dharma realms, we have also given them names. However, someday when we reach the end of our lives, when our souls leave our physical bodies, where will this energy field go? Which space will it go towards? So it will actually go towards the space that has an energy field that is most similar to ours, right? It will enter the space which frequency is similar to our energy field. And what actually is this? So after I explained, they then understood. So it turns out that right now, the energy field that we possess result in us being in the human realm. Hence, we are called humans. And in this space that is occupied by us humans, we live our lives as humans do. It's simply like that. So let's use the television as a metaphor to further elaborate. Right now, we are on the channel corresponding to the human realm, hence we are called humans. But this this television has over 100 channels. On the web, there are n number of channels, many channels, many different channels. And do these channels exist? Yes, so they exist simultaneously. However, once you change the channel, the images from that channel will appear. So in the universe, there are actually many things that are unfathomable by humans. So once we understand this fact, we will become more humble. Dharma teachings are extremely vast. And once we start to understand the Dharma that Grandmaster has taught us, the wisdom that Grandmaster taught us, and Grandmaster has also given us a practical way to cultivate the sadhanas. And these sadhanas may seem to be mere rituals on the surface, but there is actually essence and truth within the sadhanas. And once we understand this, we come to realize that the universe, the Dharma realms, is just simply unfathomable. In this life, we are reborn as humans. And in the entirety of the human life, there are countless opportunities for us to upgrade ourselves, to surpass ourselves. And when we talk about the battle of birth and life, it starts when one enters into the womb and continues all the way until before life ends. But does anyone know? So this part is known as the battle of birth and life. But does anyone know in this period when we are alive, what actually are we doing? Alright, so this is linked to dependent origination, or the 12 links of dependent origination. So, so let us take a look at the screen. So you can see the image on the screen. So what is the first one? So the first one is ignorance. Ignorance, which is what I refer to as the state the Bardo is in. So what does Bardo refer to? The Bardo is impure thoughts. So the Bardo is impure thoughts. And in the 12 links of dependent origination, the first link is ignorance, and the second is formation. Because the bardo is impure, it possesses energy that forms wholesome and unwholesome karma, and these formations cause the consciousness of the next existence. And consciousness, the third link, serves as a memory box of life. And when the bardo enters into the fourth link, which is name and form, it has entered a womb. And at the fourth link, the bardo enters the human realm, the bardo of birth and life. And what is meant by name? Name is mental and psychological body. What is meant by form? It refers to the material body. It is the combination of the physical, psychological entity together with the material body. So this corresponds to the stage where the sperm and egg from the parents combine to give a fertilized ovum, and the battle of birth and life begins at this point, and a life is created. And and this life this life that is created, this baby will slowly grow in the mother's womb, and its physical body starts to develop, and the six sense faculties start to form as well: the eyes, the ears, nose, tongue, body or skin, and the mind. All these develop while the baby is in the mother's womb. So the elements that form these sense faculties, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, the elements that form these sense faculties within a body are the four elements of earth, water, fire, and wind. At the end of the life, during the battle of dying, these sense faculties will then disintegrate back into the four elements. Even when there is name and form, and the six sense faculties, the baby is still yet to be born. But this life slowly develops to be more human-like. Once the baby is born, there is contact, which is the sixth link. So what is this contact? The eyes start to sing, the eyes start to see, the ears start to hear. And let us think back from the moment we are born, every single thought or action we have all start from us seeing something, hearing something, and so on. Through information received by the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, thoughts then arise in our mind. So, in such a process, when your eyes see, there is contact. Will you experience feelings? Just think about it. For our entire life, isn't this the kind of life we are leading? The kind of life our battle of birth and life is leading? Just think about it. Can you see your battle of birth and life? It's actually continuously being influenced by all of these. But in our eighth consciousness, in the memory box of life, contains contains all of the thoughts we have had, starting from a single thought of ignorance. But don't forget, Buddha nature is also included within. Hence, through the sixth link, which is contact, feelings or sensations develop, which is the seventh link. What comes after feelings? Action. So, craving, grasping, and becoming, the eighth, ninth, and tenth link respectively. So what is becoming? All of this comes into being because this entire process generates karmic hindrances due to craving and grasping. Wholesome and unwholesome karma is generated. Let's think about it. Isn't this how our lives are typically like? We start from name and form, then our six sense faculties develop: the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and we continue growing until we are born. And once we are born, there is contact as our eyes see, our ears hear, our tongue taste. Everything our senses come into contact with becomes our feelings or sensations. So does everyone understand? This is really very interesting. It just in the most straightforward manner, it tells us how we are living our lives. So after sensations or after feelings, craving develops, and from craving and attachment, we act on it, grasping onto the craving and attachment, and this creates many karmic hindrances, and this is becoming. So this is the 10th link, and this is followed by rebirth, the 11th link. So with these karmic hindrances, the cycle of samsara continues, and we experience our next rebirth. So in our next rebirth, where do we start from? Again, we start from name and form, the six sense faculties, and then contact, feelings, craving, grasping, becoming, and all of our thoughts lead to another rebirth. So after birth, we inevitably experience old age and death. After death, the strands of ignorance continue and the cycle repeats again. So the 12 links of dependent origination allows us to see all the way to our past ignorance in our past, and there are many portions which all describes the circumstances we are living in right now. So life is simply just like that. After you have gone through everything in this life, you again enter into another rebirth, into your next life. So from our past life to our current life and our next life, the cycle continues as described by the 12 links of dependent origination. Hence, um, the Pratyeka Buddhas are those who have gained enlightenment through complete understanding of the 12 links of dependent origination. Hence, I'm sharing this image of dependent origination today. We can see that in our lives, there are actually many aspects affected by our senses, which in turn create many various complicated thoughts. And don't forget, these thoughts are an energy field. So where we are reborn to in the future depends on our current life, our life right now. It depends on our battle of birth and life, our spiritual energy field, what kind of energy field it is. Hence, for the battle of birth and life, in our current life and body, there are many, many opportunities and chances. However, very little people can truly recognize, and ultimately understand the true meaning of their lives. Once we understand the true meaning of our lives, we will know exactly what we are cultivating in this life. Just think about it. The life of an average human is influenced by the six sense faculties since birth. Then there is craving, grasping, and becoming. So all lives progress in this manner. It is very difficult to extricate ourselves from our senses, knowledge, and awareness. Hence, sentient beings, for sentient beings to liberate themselves from the cycle of samsara, to transcend samsara, it is actually extremely difficult. Hence, when Grandmaster transmitted the Mahodhara Heruka, he expounded on a very important pith, which is that we have to return to the origin or the source. The very first primordial Buddha, Adam Buddha, which is the complete. So Adama Buddha is the complete and perfect Buddha nature that all sentient beings possess. And when thoughts arise, the Bado body is formed. And in terms of Bado bodies, they are divided into pure ones impure ones, as well as pure and impure ones. So right now, our body bodies are both pure and impure. So for pure body bodies, their thoughts throughout the entire process of cultivation, their thoughts are extremely pure. And so the average impure, sorry, the impure body is what an average human have. And in the cycle, in the entire cycle of samsara, they are only able to see their current life. The five aggregates continue on and on in our lives. And right now, all of us exist in a state where our body is a mix of both purity and impurity. Why is this so? This is because even though we have certain habitual actions born from ignorance, but we are all aware that we have to cultivate. And also because we respect our guru, treasure the Dharma, and cultivate diligently. And it is also because we all understand, as written in the True Buddha Sutra, that the purity of body, speech, and mind is the key to realizing the Dharma jewel. Hence, every day we lead the life of cultivators. And as cultivators, we observe our body, our speech, and our mind. So we develop the skill of perception. And once we develop this perception, we can tell that our thoughts are flawed, and then we can transform them. So if there are flaws in our actions, our speech, we can transform them as well. Hence, our body is in a state where there is a mix of both purity and impurity. So of course, through cultivation, we definitely can upgrade and refine our energy field. Isn't that right? Is everyone confident of doing so? So, so everyone has a joyful smile on their face. So, so even though we are confident, but there is still room for improvement. Is that the message I'm getting? So I'm sure everyone is trying their best on this path. Hence, when I when I have end of life care classes, I just hope that I just hope that everyone is able to keep in mind that the energy formed from our thoughts is the soul, and just remember, keep it in mind that it is an energy field ultimately. And so every day we have different energy fields. When we are happy, we naturally have a happy energy field. When we are sad, we'll have a sad energy field. I remember 2 weeks ago during Grandmaster's Dharma talk, he said when we are happy, we are actually in Pure Land. However, when we are troubled by afflictions, we are in samsara. Does everyone remember? When I heard Grandmaster's Dharma talks, I was deeply touched when I heard this. So this is true. When you are in a state of happiness every day, and it is not happiness derived from external sources, but internal happiness, if you are able to develop an energy of joy and happiness, this energy is actually similar to the energy of Pure Land. And if we are able to maintain such a state of happiness all the time, we'll be more confident in attaining future rebirth in Pure Land. Isn't that right? But when you are troubled by afflictions every day, Grandmaster taught, this is samsara. So we have to know that when we have troubles and afflictions, we are in samsara. Do we want this? No, we don't. We actually don't. So we don't want to stay in samsara for too long. Hence, we have started and have been working on transforming and purifying ourselves, transforming and purifying our energy. So we have to transform and purify our spirituality, and there are two methods to do so. The first method is to attend class. The first method is to attend class to understand what is the Bado body, understand understand that our current life is so important, to understand that we have to upgrade and improve our energy field because it affects the realm we want to go to in the future. The you right now, the mental state you have right now, will be the you in the future too. So, has everyone started realizing the importance of your energy field by now and are all very motivated to keep an eye on it? So, this is theory. We understand the theory now. However, merely understanding it is inadequate. It is just knowledge. We have to put it into practice too. So, once we know the theory and we put it into practice, we will feel the effect. And so once we understand through daily cultivation, we observe our body, speech, and mind, master control over the contact we experience through our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, mouth, body, and mind, such that we are not that influenced by the feelings the six senses bring about. So what does it mean by not being so influenced by the feelings the senses bring about? It means that when we see something, we do not let it stay in our minds for too long. We do not allow it to affect us for too long. Let it pass. Everything will eventually pass, and we have to maintain the pure energy we have in our hearts. Maintain the pure energy we have in our hearts, because we have to keep in mind. We have to keep what Grandmaster taught in the True Buddha Sutra in our minds at all times. The purity of body, speech, and mind is the key to realizing the Dharma jewel. Keep this phrase at all times in our hearts and minds. Purity of speech. Purity of body, speech, and mind is the key to realizing the Dharma jewel. No matter what we are doing, we have to observe whether our body, speech, and mind are pure. Especially our minds. Because people are unable to see our thoughts. All the more we have to observe our thoughts. Because this is greatly related to our next life. So once you understand that the purity of body, speech, and mind is the key to realizing the Dharma jewel, only then can we proceed to the next step to realize this true practice and cultivation, to ultimately understand a quiescent mind is the key to realizing the Buddha jewel Sambodhi. So actually, I'm also giving the class to a live audience, so I'm interacting with the audience. I'm also treating all fellow disciples online as if they are in a classroom in the void. So I'm just interacting with everyone right now. So through this process, we learn both the theory and we learn the theory and put it into practice. And once we do so, we will feel the difference. The your energy field within is upgraded. You will feel that no matter what you may encounter in your life, be it favorable or unfavorable situations, be it profit or loss, criticism of praise, you will feel different. So the difference that you feel is your taste of Dharma. So if we learn, put it into practice, we will definitely feel the difference. So you will feel that your way of thinking on various things has changed. And in addition to that, you will feel more happiness and Dharma joy. And not only that, the people around you will also have noticed your changed, and they will observe that. They will observe your change and will be like, oh wow. So cultivation really does make a difference. So they proclaim, hey, previously Master Lian Yun wasn't like this. Now when I see her, why do I feel that she's easy to get along with? So they will actually feel the difference. So they will actually feel the difference. So hence, when we are cultivating bodhisattva, we do things out of bodhisattva. The actual task doesn't matter. What matters is the mindset we are doing it with. We'll be able to feel the difference in ourselves, and so will the people around us. When we learn Buddha Dharma and cultivate, we are generating a kind of energy and strength. And this energy and strength can be felt by the people around us. And this actually allows them to appreciate the merit and the beauty of cultivation. Today, if we cultivate, if we still have many flaws in our body, speech, and mind, if there are still much greed, hatred, ignorance in our habitual actions, but we choose not to see them, we choose to think that they are only natural, and we choose to think that this is just only natural in the human realm. Everyone is doing it. Then such cultivation will not have much meaning to us. So I often say when you put on a piece of clothing, you have to give it meaning, you have to give it essence. If the clothing we put on has many embellishments, but within we are unable to upgrade our energy field. So if we are unable to ultimately we are unable to upgrade our energy field within, everything will still be an illusion. It is still emptiness or sunyata. Hence, when giving this end of life care classes, my focus actually is on it. My focus is actually hoping everyone can understand life, understand the meaning of life, the importance of Bardo of birth and life, and to emphasize that we have to put in effort to understand the teachings that Grandmaster has taught us. So even if we are unable to finish reading all 300 books, even if we are unable to listen to all of Grandmaster's Dharma talks, but we learn from the example set by Grandmaster. We learn from Grandmaster's diligence, his compassion, and we learn from Grandmaster and follow in his footsteps. So our Grandmaster has so many precious knowledge we need to learn from. Even in the true Buddha Tantric Dharma we cultivate every day. So I believe all of us here know how to cultivate. But our understanding of the sadhanas, our superficial understanding of the sadhanas and the inherent meaning behind it is completely different. So Grandmaster once said, every day we lead the life of a Bado body. Hence, every day we are subjected to trials and tribulations from the Bado body. So what does this mean? It simply refers to the trials and tribulations we are subjected to from our thoughts. But you shouldn't blame your thoughts. Blaming our thoughts is also not the way. Because what are our own thoughts affected by? They are actually affected by ourselves. Our five senses, our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. So thoughts are also very peaceful. So all beings possess Buddha nature, but since birth, we are subjected to information coming from our sense faculties. We come in contact with the world once we are born, leading to feelings or sensations being created. And all of these feelings eventually lead to craving, grasping, and becoming. So all of these are affecting our thoughts. And this in turn give rise to different energy fields we have every day. Hence, the energy of our past life has resulted in our rebirth into our current life. And everyone must applaud yourselves. You must have planted many wholesome merits in your past life, right? So don't be shy to give a round of applause to yourselves. You have to keep in mind the fact that we are able to attend this class today is because of our affinity. Without this affinity, it would be impossible for someone to listen to the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage. A dying person on their deathbed, regardless of what they have done in their current life, regardless of whether they have an understanding of Buddha Dharma in their current life, regardless of whether they have taken refuge, regardless of the unwholesome and wholesome karma they have created in this current life, if they are able to meet you and I in their final moments, in the most important moments in their life, and we, as virtuous teachers, can lead their family members who are by their side to perform the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage, and can lead them to recite mantras. I'll tell everyone that this dying person has definitely performed and accumulated many virtuous merits in their countless past lives. Only then would they have such a great opportunity. Hence, don't forget, I always keep in mind the fact that we are able to gather here for class, that we are able to cultivate at the same cultivation venue. All of us are not just meeting for the first time. It's not simply because I live in Taipei, that's why I go to Zhongguan Lezang to cultivate. No, it's not that. No, we are not meeting for the first time. Grandmaster said we are actually all meeting again after 100,000 years of separation. So for all the people we meet in our lives, this is how we should see them. We are also reuniting with Grandmaster again in this life, reuniting again and again over many lives, lifetimes. Hence, in this life, Grandmaster has transmitted to us very clearly the most important and precious teachings. So as long as we remember this and cultivate diligently, we will be able to reunite again with Grandmaster. Through diligent cultivation, our past memories stored in our mind will gradually awaken. If we do not cultivate diligently and simply go through the entire sadhana on a very superficial level, though it's still better than nothing, it is not ideal. So, do we actually understand the profound meaning hidden within the sadhanas? So, when we understand the battle of birth and life, we realize that since birth we are subjected to information received from our sense organs, and with this knowledge we have to start cultivating. So in the uh battle of birth and life, in this part of our life, there are still two Bado states that are similar to that of the Bado state when we are dying. And the first is the Bado of dreams. And Grandmaster once said if we are unable to act autonomously in our dreams, in the future, how can we expect to act autonomously at the point we are dying? So later I'll leave some time to discuss the questions we received in the past lessons. So So these questions are very good questions. So we'll talk about the Battle of Dreams right now. And the PowerPoint shown on the slide right now will be provided in the chat group later on. So feel free to use it for your revision. So autonomy or acting in our own free will in our dreams. I'll share an example from Grandmaster's Dharma talk. A tantric practitioner must not only be able to recognize that they are in a dream, but also be able to transform the dream. Only then is one a true cultivating practitioner. So can we visualize our yidam during the battle of dreams? So this was taught by Grandmaster. So we visualize our yidam in our heart chakra, visualize ourselves transforming into our yidam, sleeping in the light of our yidam. So this was the important point in Grandmaster's talk, and everyone can go back and try it out. So extending our cultivation to even when we are sleeping. So with such a practice, we'll be able to better recognize our dreams and transform them. So when we are sleeping, we visualize our yidam in our heart chakra and we immediately transform into our yidam, sleeping in the light of our yidam. So Grandmaster has actually taught us many kinds of dream yoga, but the one I'm sharing today is my personal favorite. And it is also one that all of us are familiar with. Remember, when we are going to sleep, we visualize our yidam in our heart chakra and we immediately transform into our yidam. So this is achieving spiritual union. Isn't this the entering of yidam into oneself? It is no different from the fifth instruction for entering into samadhi. Entering of yidam into oneself, spiritual union, and sleeping in the light of our yidam. So this is the cultivation we can practice during the battle of dreams. I encourage everyone to try it out. There is also another battle state, which is the battle of meditative stability. The battle of meditative stability is extremely important as it trains us in maintaining the meditative stability in our mind. So, of course, Grandmaster has taught us many methods to enter into samadhi. Master Lian Ha is also constantly sharing with everyone on Grandmaster's books, uh, meditation on meditation, and the Peace teaching to the path of liberation. These are all great. Sorry, meditation within meditation and the peace teaching to the path of liberation. So is everyone familiar with the true Buddha Tantric Dharma? I'm sure everyone is. I often say the middle segment of the true Buddha Tantric Dharma is something I give great attention. It's something I pay great attention to. And in the future, during our cultivation, we must pay great attention to the middle segment of the true Buddha Tantric Dharma. So in the PowerPoint slide, you can see on the screen cultivation during the battle of meditative stability. Actually, all of these are what we practice during our cultivation. The first is admittance of the three blessing lights. Is everyone familiar? That's great. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Of course, we are familiar. Admittance of the three blessing lights. Om, ah, Om. So, does everyone visualize this clearly? So remember this peeve, admittance of the three blessing lights is actually the transformation of the body, speech, and mind of a typical human into the body, speech, and mind of Padma Kumara. So let us recite this together. The admittance of the three blessing lights is the transformation of the body, speech, and mind of ourselves, a typical human, into the body, speech, and mind of Padma Kumara. So the emittance of the three blessing lights is the transformation of the body, speech, and mind of us, a typical human, into the body, speech, and mind of Padma Kumara. So now when we are cultivating the root guru yoga, when we form the mudra and visualize that our root guru is in the void in front of us, emitting the three blessing lights, we have to do so diligently and carefully. So we visualize a white Om syllable. Do you see on the screen? Can you see on the screen? A white Om syllable at the third eye chakra of our root guru, emitting a bright white light into our third eye chakra, not just on the surface, but into our third eye chakra. The white light is extremely radiant. It's like a white sun. And this light is actually energy that is able to stimulate our third eye chakra, allowing energy nectar to form. So if you're able to visualize clearly the white Om syllable emitting a white light, this is actually purifying our physical karma, purification of our physical karma. Then what about the throat chakra? It will be a red R syllable. Visualize a red R syllable emitting a red light into our throat chakra. And visualize a red R syllable at our chakra, similar to a red sun. So I describe it as similar to a sun as you have to visualize that the light and the radiance emitted is very strong and very intense at our throat chakra. As for our heart chakra, we visualize a blue home syllable. So visualize a blue home syllable at our root guru's heart chakra, emitting a brilliant blue light into our heart chakra. So we have to visualize the blue light at our heart chakra very clearly, very, very clearly. It is similar to a blue sun. Visualize the strongest, the most intense light that you can visualize. Because the heart chakra is the hardest to open among all the other chakras because we keep all our troubles knotted deep within our heart. So we keep all our troubles knotted deep within our heart. So we can only use the energy of the light to open the heart chakra. Otherwise, often we find ourselves unable to do certain things. Like we might catch ourselves thinking, I really want to forgive them, but why can't I? Why am I still so angry? Actually, all of these are entangled in the heart chakra. And the emittance of the three blessing lights is extremely important. Hence, in every practice, in every cultivation session, perform the visualization carefully. And if you can spare 3 minutes or 5 minutes, you can visualize the emittance of the three blessing lights too. Visualize the energy from our root guru, the energy from the syllables Om are home, constantly blessing us, purifying our body, speech, and mind. And in the future, when we are performing rituals for the disease, dotting the Vajra sand on the disease, each grain of the Vajra sand is no longer ordinary sand. So when we diligently the experience and the single-mindedness we get from diligent practice will generate great energy. When we pick up the Vajra sand, visualize root gurus, the eye chakra emitting white light on the Vajra sand in our fingers, blessing every grain, and visualize the light from the Om syllable. We dot the Vajra sand between the deceased eyebrows. Yep. So after visualizing brilliant light from the Om syllable, we dot the Vajra sand between the deceased eyebrows. visualize the energy coming from root guru, and every grain of the Vajrasayan is a brilliant white Om syllable. And then we dot this brilliant white light between the deceased eyebrows. So this is hence purification. Hence the sahanas are no longer superficial, but a true practitioner performing the ritual with the energy. Actually, when we are performing such rituals during end of life care, upon picking up the Vajrasayan, we are able to visualize the emittance of the three blessing lights and help purify the deceased through the lineage blessing of Root Guru and the emittance of the three blessing lights, the Om Ah Hum, purifying the physical, verbal, and mental karma of the deceased. Hence, such rituals will go beyond the superficial level. This is hence the inherent meaning behind the sahanas, the inherent meaning within the sahanas. And apart from emittance of the three blessing lights, the path to entering into samadhi is written very clearly in the sahanas. Entering of freedom into oneself, spiritual union, and release of oneself into cosmic consciousness. So when I lead cultivation sessions, I often lead only until spiritual union and don't go forward to the release of oneself into cosmic consciousness. Why is this so? Because the prerequisite involves truly entering into samadhi such that the pure light within us emerges. If we have not truly entered into meditative stability, there will be no such pure light. So we have to continually visualize entering of the yidam into oneself, and which is already truly extraordinary. And from the first class we recited and memorized this very important phrase. In Tantrayana, the root guru represents the merits of the body, speech, and mind of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in all directions and all times. So when you realize root guru in the void opposite you, all of the light and energy of the Dharma realms appear at the same time. The brilliant light from Grandmaster, the brilliant light from Root Guru, and when we visualize entering of the idam into oneself, it is an extremely extraordinary energy descending from the void to atop our crown. And at this moment, there is a very strong energy field atop our crown. And as long as we are focused and single-minded, there is nothing we cannot do. Why is it that on some days we have cultivated for quite some time, but still feel that we are unable to visualize clearly? It is because we are not focused or single-minded enough. To grind an iron bar into a needle or to persevere in a difficult task, it all depends on our own effort. So Grandmaster has taught us the PIF instructions, but we have yet to grind the iron bar into a needle. It is still an iron bar. So the grinding is actually cultivation, is hence cultivation. And when we continuously visualize, we are we are training and strengthening our mind towards single-mindedness. So we visualize our root guru in the void, visualize the light from root guru, from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of all directions and all times, and visualize this light appearing and descending to atop your crown. So, so we pull the energy of the universe to atop our crown. This is an energy exchange with the universe. And atop your crown, visualize this light, this energy transforming into a pearl of light, entering our body throughout the central meridian channel to our heart chakra. And our root guru rests on the eight-petaled lotus at our heart chakra. So what is our heart chakra in this moment? It is our root guru, which represents the merits of the true body, speech, and mind of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in all directions and all times. So all of this energy is at our heart chakra at in that moment. And if you're able to visualize this clearly, this energy slowly opens up the energy at the heart meridian. So then we then visualize the root guru at our heart chakra slowly enlarging until we achieve spiritual union with root guru, and there's no difference between the two. So isn't whatever I've just said all captured in our sadhanas? So when we go through the sadhanas, do we dive down into the inherent meaning within it? Just think about it. With such with such guidance, the energy within our body is constantly upgrading. So it is not simply done through like the words of the sadhana on a very superficial level. Everyone can go back to try this out during cultivation. At the moment when we are in spiritual union with our root guru, our energy field is is also filled with the light and energy of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in all directions and all times. Does everyone understand? Emittance of the three blessing lights, entering of the Idam into oneself, and spiritual union. During meditation, you visualize attaining spiritual union, and attaining spiritual union is something we need to practice all the time until it's unwavering and clear. Our energy will hence be very stable, unwavering and clear. Then it will be sunyata and radiance. We must first be able to achieve unwavering. We must first be unwavering and clear before going towards sunyata and radiance. But our thoughts are not that obedient. When we are reciting, we may think it's very simple, like, oh, everything is written in the sadhanas. But our thoughts are not that obedient. They often fly out of our control. We observe that our thoughts are not focused. So what do we do if we observe that our thoughts are not focused? So when you're not even able to observe your thoughts are not focused, you will be led away with by your thoughts. So when the Vajra, so when you're not even able to observe that your thoughts are not focused, you will be led away by your thoughts. When the Vajra bell rings to signal the end of Samadhi, you will feel as if time passed very quickly. You haven't even entered into Samadhi, and now we are emerging from Samadhi already. However, if you manage to observe that your thoughts are not focused, for example, you might be thinking about, you notice yourself thinking about the night markets, pull your thoughts back to the present, back to being in spiritual union with our root guru, and we have to keep practicing to pull our thoughts back to the present. And every time we manage to pull our thoughts back to the present, we receive empowerment from the energy of our root guru. So Dharma flow from empowerment will never ever be depleted. When we keep our root guru in mind, the Dharma flow from empowerment will never ever be depleted. In what cases does Dharma flow stop? It only actually stops when we stop keeping our root guru in mind. We stop the Dharma flow ourselves. So the blessing from our root guru is always present, but because we have too many thoughts, we stop the Dharma flow ourselves. So actually Dharma flow from empowerment will never ever be depleted. Okay, so I will share with everyone something that is also very important, which is the Pama Kumara Swift Path Dharma Wheel. Next. So can everyone see the Pama Kumara Swift Path Dharma Wheel? So the sunlight, moonlight, and starlight of the universe transforms into a giant circle of light in the universe. Can everyone see the Swift Path Dharma Wheel surrounded by the light of many, many, many stars? Yes, right? So right now we are looking at the 2D rendition, but just imagine if it's the entire universe. Yeah, so we are just right now looking at a 2D rendition. So the main deity for the Padma Kumara Swift Path Dharma Wheel is of course Padma Kumara. And in Hentrayana, the root guru represents, what does the root guru represent? The root guru represents the merits of the body, speech, and mind of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in all direction and all times. You can try to understand it in this way. All of the light, the energy, doesn't it represent the light and energy of all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the entire universe in all directions and times? So we see this Dharma wheel, we see the sunlight, moonlight, and starlight of the universe transforming into a giant circle of light of the universe. Do you see the circle of light? Do you see where you are? Yep. So you are in the circle of light, sitting atop a lotus. So the Padma Kumara in the circle of light is you. So hence, if you keep Root Guru in mind, the merits of the body, speech, and mind of all Buddhas and all Bodhisattvas in all directions and all times, their light and energy, the merits of the entire universe, the sunlight, moonlight, and starlight of the universe is vast and limitless. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in all directions and all times are also vast and limitless. So the root guru is like the radiance of the universe, the sunlight, the moonlight, and starlight of the universe, transforming into an energy field of the universe. And Grandmaster said in his Dharma talk at 中观雷藏寺 that this is pure mother light. And as we cultivators constantly pull our thoughts to attaining spiritual union, pull our thoughts towards attaining spiritual union with our root guru, the pure light that emerges is the pure child light. So you constantly stay within this swift path Dharma wheel, this energy field of the universe during your cultivation. And the practice in which you visualize the swift path Dharma wheel is actually the swift path to attaining spiritual union with Padma Kumara. So when we put this into practice during end of life care as well as assistive chanting at memorial events, we visualize the disease in the energy field of the universe, the energy field. Visualize the disease in the energy field of the root guru, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. What kind of effect will this have? If you are constantly cultivating in such an energy field, what kind of effect will this have? Alright, so I'll stop here due to the time, but I encourage everyone to consider what kind of effect will it have. So I encourage all of you to go back and think about this. And next week, when we talk about the battle of dying, the different stages of dissolution, we will know that whatever I've just shared, actually whatever I've just shared is simply the sadhana. I haven't deviated from the sadhana actually. I have just gone through parts of the sadhana we are all familiar with. But does everyone understand now the extraordinariness of the sadhana? It's straightforward. It's straightforward. In such a straightforward manner, it teaches us the practice of attaining spiritual union. The secret to elevating our spirituality, the mysteries of the universe, all written in words by Grandmaster and easily comprehended by us, such that we can practice. So don't enter into a jewel-filled mountain and return empty-handed. Today I leave everyone with a question. What kind of effect will such cultivation have? Just try it out. So after every class, we have to diligently practice. Today I've shared about entering of the Yidam into oneself, spiritual union, and emittance of the three blessing lights, and the swift path Dharma wheel. Everyone can go back and try practicing. Cultivating with such knowledge, what kind of effect will such cultivation have? So try it out and we welcome all to share your experiences. So with such cultivation, our body, our mind and soul transform. What are our feelings? What about our feelings, our Dharma joy? So do share our experiences. So hence today we are in the battle of birth and life, and I can only share very briefly with everyone. So this is like a typical class. A typical class is just like that. I can only touch on the main points. But the cultivation during battle of birth and life is also linked to the battle of dying. So don't worry, I will share on the battle of dying in the next lesson. And in the battle of dying, the internal and external dissolution stage is an important teaching. Hence, I've actually scheduled many classes talk about the battle of dying in hope that everyone will be able to absorb and understand. But But everyone has to understand that accumulation of knowledge is merely just that. So once we understand the teaching, we have to put it in practice in our lives. And only then will this part of our life, the battle of birth and life, be extremely valuable and meaningful. I hope our end of life care classes are not just classes, but a training ground in life, but and also an encouragement for all to cultivate diligently now that we have this affinity. So the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage is no different from our cultivation today. Once you have truly understood cultivation, you can teach the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage anytime, anywhere, to anyone with affinity. So once you have truly understood, you can teach the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage to anyone with affinity at any time, anywhere. So I often say the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage can not only be shared by masters or reverends. I often talk about the affinity of this Dharma in hope that all fellow disciples can cultivate diligently and understand the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage. So for each of the affinities we come across in our lives, we can help and embrace all Bado bodies that are wandering between the edge of life and death. So this is the important meaning and reason why I share about the Dharma of liberation through hearing in the Bado stage. So we will temporarily come to a stop to today's lesson, and we will leave the remaining time to Q&A. Thank you, Amidaba. Amidaba, special thanks to Master Yuan Yue for her exciting lesson. We really haven't heard enough. Time really flew. So our online audience, please just type type in the chat box. Thank you, Master Lian Yue, and to thank Master Lian Yue again for her lesson. It was extremely fascinating. So we have some questions from our fellow students last week, and we'll invite Master Lian Yue to clarify on them. All right. So the first question is, I mean, if a patient is admitted into the hospital to the emergency center in a coma, and the doctor says to resuscitate the patient, they will have to perform certain operations that would cause the patient to be potentially disabled or have a poorer quality of life. Should their children give up on saving the patient's life for that reason, or give up immediately, or give up because surgery is too expensive? So, alright, I got it. So, do we give up? Whether or not we give up, one important factor is whether the resuscitation will give the patient a chance for treatment or recovery. So this is the most important factor. So usually if a patient is admitted into a hospital in a coma, CPR is done or other resuscitation methods. So if you are facing if you are facing such a situation where the patient is in a coma, usually it's because of the brain or the heart or lungs. So I'm not able to give a fixed answer as to whether or not we should save the patient. However, let's say you are performing CPR on someone who drowned, and through CPR you're helping them to breathe again. This person can still breathe afterwards and eventually wake up. So such a resuscitation is necessary. But if a person's heart has stopped and we try to revive it by giving it an electric shock, and the patient will be able to continue treatment and eventually even recover after such a resuscitation. This kind of resuscitation is necessary. However, for patients who are dying, for patients who are in the terminal stage, and their body can no longer recover, we can actually we can give up on resuscitation in these cases. And in many hospitals today, they require you to sign an agreement form regarding this decision on whether to perform resuscitation or not. I think it's a do not resuscitate order. So before we sign this agreement, we have to clearly understand whether there's a need to further resuscitate the patient. All right, so this is the first answer. The answer to the first question. Second question, please. So the second question is when the body is suffering from great pain, the intervals for remembering one's guru disappear. How can one practice in such a situation? All right, so this often happens. That's why I say diligent cultivation has to depend on our everyday effort. When we are subjected to illness, how can we still maintain stability? This is something that has to be trained. So I often train myself in this way. When I'm sick, how can I still maintain calmness and stability? So I'll talk more about this next week, okay? Next week I'll elaborate more on this week using a practical example. So this is a very good question. And in the past, there was a period when I was not that busy yet in the past. I like to show care for terminal patients, and there was a Dharma sister who left a very deep impression in my mind. So she was in the ward, she was hospitalized in the ward, and she told me, I'm someone who recites the Padma Kumara mantra every day, but now every recitation of Om Guru Leshan City Home, I feel so much pain. Every time I recite, I feel so much pain. So Master Lian Deng, when they entered into the ICU, their entire body was full of needles and tubes, but yet they could still sit up to meditate. What kind of a skill is this? Actually, so I can share many examples with everyone, and by sharing these examples, I hope that we can all become virtuous, virtuous teachers in life. So I'll elaborate more on this question the next time and share more touching examples. So in the medical field, the the final stage of cancer is the most painful, and different kinds of cancer bring about different kinds of pain. And in Taiwan, we have promoted many kinds of palliative care, and that is not performing treatments that will result in pain. And in terms of medical treatment, pain alleviation is a very important aspect. Does pain alleviation affect the bado? No, the bado is very sensitive. Pain alleviation during medical treatment can hence help us maintain a state of mind similar to during cultivation. So we'll elaborate more on this next week, okay? Alright, so moving on to the next question. If a family member agrees to extubate a very sick person, uh, i.e., remove their life support and let them die before the end of their life, will the family member who made this decision have any unwholesome karma? Typically, if you want to extubate the patient at a hospital, there are certain criteria to meet. Doctors will not casually extubate the patient and remove their life support. When doctors have made such when doctors have made the call to do so, it signifies that the patient is completely reliant on machines to live. Hence, for such a patient, once you remove them from life support, they will leave rather quickly. It means that they are relying on an external source to sustain their life. So in such case, I believe there's no problem if you remove them from life support. This is what I think. So for patients who are terminally ill, it is very difficult to imagine the pain they are going through. So in Taiwan, if you wish to extubate the patient at a hospital and remove them from the machines, there are often certain criteria to meet. doctors will not casually do so. But if we're at home and we disconnect the tubes ourselves, ultimately leading to the patient's death, this is considered negligence. Yeah, so don't worry. Once doctors have given the go ahead that we can remove the tubes connected to the patient, it must be because the patient is completely reliant on life support, is completely reliant on the machines, and is no longer able to support their own life independently. Alright, thank you, Master. The next question. Because of pure faith in the root lineage guru and fulfillment of 8 million recitations of the Padmakumara mantra, the energy of the Badu body may be relatively strong. During internal dissolution, if the deceased is able to continually keep the root guru in their mind, will this be of great help for the deceased when it comes to reuniting with their personal yidam and entering into their pure land? Of course. So this is a very good question and is linked to the question before. The question earlier about suffering from great pain during sickness. So Grandmaster said if one fulfills 8 million recitations of the Padmakumara mantra, one will definitely be guided to and be reborn in the Mahatwin Lotus Ponds. So if one is guided to or received into the Mahatwin Lotus Ponds is still considered through an external strength. But when we are experiencing internal dissolution, and this I will elaborate more next week. So during the battle of dying, a very precious bright light will appear. The first bright light followed by a second bright light. Then the disease is received or guided to the Mahatwin Lotus Ponds. So okay, I'll elaborate more on this question. This is a good question. All right. So because I'll need some time to answer this question, so we'll leave it for next week. All right. Thank you, Master. So next question. In the second lesson, the topic of organ donation and donation of the entire body was mentioned, and I have some queries. I need help in understanding. Organ donation is usually the donating of one's organ to the living. But does donation of the entire body include donating the body to be a specimen for medical research? Is whole body donation to medical research equivalent to organ donation? Because the organ donation only involves removing certain parts of the body and the rest of the body is often cremated. But whole body donation means the body cannot be cremated or buried at land or sea, etc. In such cases, is whole body donation encouraged? Will Buddhas and Bodhisattvas still come to receive the deceased? Thank you. So fundamentally, for donation of organs versus donation of the entire body, the process for each is different. For organ donation, it must be done immediately after the patient is determined to be brain dead. So even though they may be brain dead, but their heart is still beating, they may still have a pulse. The heart is beating, but the brain is dead. So in the medical field, we determine a patient is dead when they are brain dead. So for organ donation, it must be carried out immediately once the patient is determined to be brain dead. Hence, a patient who has opted for organ donation, this represents their heart of Bodhisattva because in Taiwan, one must actually write a document by themselves to signify their consent for their organs to be donated. Hence, the wholesome karma resulting from one's Bodhisattva and the fact that they are very clear that at their point of death, they want to donate their organs and are prepared to undergo the respective process to donate their organs. They are willing to leave a gift to this world. So with such a beautiful thought, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will come to receive them at the point of death. So does everyone understand? So I've also mentioned in the first lesson, this is the power of our thoughts and intention. I'm willing to donate my organs and I leave a gift to this world. This is Bodhisattva, and this is also letting go of our attachment. We can only do something like this when we let go of the attachment we have to our physical body. At the at the point of death, our other body will be received by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So this is organ donation. So the second is the donation of the entire body. The deceased who donated their entire body we call them 大体老师 or the English term is silent mentors. So this is because when they donate their entire body, their body will be dissected for medical research purposes. So hence they are known as silent mentors. So if you're willing to donate your entire body, it means that you're no longer attached to your physical body, isn't it? Usually, usually if the disease has such a mindset, their thoughts are pure. But actually for mentors, their bodies are not immediately dissected after brain death, but they can be donated to the hospital within 12 hours after their death. So for deceased who donate their entire body, not only did they demonstrate their Buddhicitta and receive the merits, but they are also able to go through the excessive chanting during the golden 8 hours. Hence, be it organ donation or donation of the entire body, I feel that to resolve to such an aspiration is letting go of attachment, letting go of the attachment to one's physical body and transforming one's love for the world into Bodhisattva. They will definitely be received by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So thank you, Master Lian Yue. I am sure everyone has many takeaways from today's lessons. And if everyone has more questions, you may bring them up in the next lesson. We will consolidate the questions everyone has submitted today and invite Master Lian Yue to answer them next week. So today with Master's guidance, we have learned about the Bardo of Dreams and the Bardo of Meditative Stability. We have also gained a deeper understanding of dependent origination. By understanding dependent origination, we understand the meaning of life. Why do we cultivate in this life? We understand the principle behind one's life, birth, death, and rebirth, which demonstrated the never ending cycle from the past, present, and future. Cultivation is to return to our origin, and sentient beings all possess Buddha nature. Vital bodies can be split into pure and impure, and we are extremely lucky because we practice cultivation, purification of our body, speech, and mind. On this path to attaining Buddhahood, we are transforming and purifying our spirituality. The death of each person is different. Some die naturally while others die by violence. Some die at home while others in a hospital. Regardless of where the death may occur, although family and friends may surround the deceased at their deathbed, but the pain of death can only be felt by the deceased alone. Others are unable to share their pain. One will have to experience the pain from the dissolution of the four elements alone. So we once read the Infinite Life Sutra, and there is a line that goes, humans live in a world of craving and lust. They are born alone and they die alone. They come alone and they leave alone. Today, Master introduced to us the battle of dreams, the battle of meditative stability, as well as the significance behind cultivation. These are the benefits for those who learn the Buddha Nama. When facing death, the heart is calm and the mind is equipped with the methods to maintain one's awareness before and after death. Master also shared with us the important aspects of what we should prepare for during cultivation. Extensive preparation eventually pays off. At the time of death, the preparation that we perform regularly can be put to use. On the topic of facing death, there is a great difference in learning versus not learning Buddha Dharma, understanding the meaning of life, cultivating diligently, cultivating the true Buddha Tantric Dharma, through cultivation, improving one's energy field, understanding how to cultivate when one is sleeping or one is meditating. Next Friday, 27 July, Taiwan time 8 p.m., we will again have Master Nian to continue on the next class. Battle of Dying, Part 1, External and Internal Dissolution. Detailed explanation on the dissolution of the four elements, as well as the pain experienced by the body, mind, and soul. Please stay tuned. And special thanks to today's interpreter, as well as Indonesian interpreter, Dhammabrada Tu Zeng. Special thanks to Master Lian for her class today. Thank you, Master Lian Yue. And to all students, we'll see each other again next week. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Amidaba. Thank you, everyone.